you get to build up conditioning. So that was a very different process this year from what I'm used to. Then you play, last year we played with Paris, we played 73 games in a season. This year we played that already, you know, at this point in a much shorter time frame. So there's a lot less time to practice and a lot more games. And that is obviously a completely different constraint on what type of practice you can do. You can do cognitively demanding practices here, also because of the basketball IQ, the understanding, the feel of the players is incredibly high, which is not maybe always appreciated, how fast they learn things. But overall, the weekly timeline is very different. And then guarding the best players, because they are universally the best players in the world who are in this league. So there's more variation and more risk taking than maybe in a European setting where everybody is a little bit closer to each other.
Kind of off that, in terms of preparation, since you guys didn't have shoot around today or practice yesterday, what were you able to do in the last couple of days to prepare and kind of implement some things moving forward?
Well, we had a short video session yesterday after the practice, and I think, like a lot of people always talk about, we got to analyze, but I think that's one of the most overused words in the English language as it comes to processes, because it's not really about the analysis, is it? It's about the synthesis. So you take the information from the previous game or whatever data you had, and then you synthesize it to try to have a better chance of beating the next opponent and next opponents. So that's what we try to do the whole season, and always before. You go through the game, you analyze it, then we go through in the video, okay, what are the steps we need to take to be better tomorrow? And that's our process right now of taking it day to day.
Hey, Coach, kind of to piggyback off that, just some of your influences that maybe inspired why you got in the game, why you got to love the game, how you developed your philosophy. And then just opening up with three of the most historic franchises in NBA history. They're all championship contenders. I think it's possibly the toughest start to an NBA coaching career ever. Just your thoughts on those two things.
Well, the first question, I mean, how much time do we have on the influences? One of them is sitting right there in the back row. You know, I learned English out of Slam magazine, you know, and reading that and follow the NBA. We grew up on NBA, you know, we have on VHS cassette tapes the '93 finals, Jordan's 55 points in game 4, triple overtime. Like these games, we grew up on that, and with me and my brother, and we were complete basketball freaks. And after that, once I started understanding a little bit about the game, like I was very happy to be about 23 when the 7 seconds or less Suns first came out, and that was a big influence for me because that was kind of a different style that was being played in the NBA. The beautiful game Spurs, obviously, and just the ability to adapt to different type of personnel and how would I say, evolution of the game of the Spurs of that era was amazing. And I could keep going on, and these are just the influences from the NBA. And most of my influences are from Europe, whether from coaches that I played for, things to do, mostly things what not to do, as all players feel like who go into coaching, and then from great European coaches, just trying to learn through clinics, through watching them, and then trying to create a coherent whole own philosophy.
You talked after the last game about defensive trust and sort of finding the balance there. Boston is a team that's going to shoot a lot of threes and space the floor. Is this game in particular a very tough test of that?
Yeah, to go off the previous question, you know, it's a tough start for us to go, and especially like Boston offers very unique challenges to every team in the league because of their spacing on the court. But it's not just like, and it's like, it's a great example, I think, of a team that's been built with a very coherent idea, from all the way from the personnel to how they play on the floor, to you can see that they do those things with such high quality that it's really emphasized in practices. So you can see that everything ties together, and it's not a surprise they are the champions, and that always offers a lot of challenges. And for us, building that trust, I think the biggest challenge will be to be consistent in our approach And that was what I was talking about, the concept part, but then take into account the context of the opponent and Boston being unique in that regard. Obviously, there's going to be some things that are not included in other game plans.
My name's Abby, I'm from Boston, so I apologize, I know you've been talking about all of this a lot, but just the transition for you and this group, what has that been like, and what are your focuses on these first few games?
So obviously the you know, there are stages to it. I think everybody was in shock in the beginning, and then you kind of everybody try to get their bearings, and I've been I've been extremely pleased and really thankful for the guys for how they've accepted, you know, in a tough situation. Me, who they've known as a first year, you know, NBA assistant. So how they've listened, how they paid attention, how focused they are, and it's really like, it's a testament to the togetherness and to the character of our guys, and we are taking it one day at a time and just trying to do, not thinking about, you know, 3 games in 4 days or which games are left, but just try to do the best in the time that's given to us on that particular day.
The one lineup change you made in your first game with Zach Edey into the starting lineup, you talked after the game about some matchup aspects of that with the Lakers in particular. Is that a change with Edey starting? You looking to continue moving forward now? And then more broadly, is your preference for a consistent starting lineup, or to consider matchups in starting lineup construction?
Historically, I've always tried to have consistent starting lineups. When it comes to Zach and the previous game, obviously he had a great game. He was also like, I think the under discussed item in all of this is Brandon Clark's injury, which has really reset our whole front court rotation, and that's we're trying to find the combinations that work best for the 48 minutes. I think we're pretty clear on the backcourt combinations, but which 5-man units can we put together that function best together, and that's why also we made the changes before to have Santi in the starting lineup, and some of it is also tied to Ja's skill set, who also emphasizes the best parts of Zach, and they can complement each other, and we will go obviously game by game, but I think ideal situation would be that we would have as much consistency as possible because of the time limits, so we can get as much valuable repetitions for the guys to play together who are going to play in the postseason together. Thank you.